Hey guys, Cool Mummy One here, and today this is the first video of the story series. So the gameplay in the background really isn't the main focus, so you could, put down your phone, just have the audio playing, or just, minimize the video on your computer, do whatever else you want while I tell the story. Because I said I wanted more one-on-one time with you guys, so here we go. So as you guys see, MEPS is the first story, which, oh, that was an experience. MEPS, I'll just say right now, MEPS fucking sucks. Like, before, it sucks. Don't be nervous though. It just sucks because like the amount of time you wait, you hurry, wait, people bitching at you, wait, hurry. Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle. But anyway, on with the story. So it started off by my recruiters driving us up to the hotel, and I ended up not staying in that hotel though because there was an overflow of people. But that'll be later in the story. So in the hotel, there's the Freedom Room, which is a room with like pool tables, movies, PS4s, Xboxes, computers with Skype on them that you could call your friends and put the video on. There's everything, a shuffleboard table, like it's the best thing in there, and little do you know the next day is just gonna be boring as hell. So the funniest part, like, MEPS sucks, but when you look back at it, there's a lot of funny moments. And so yeah, the Freedom Room. So the thing I found funny about this is that you have people falling asleep in the computer, or not, yeah, in the computer chairs. You also have people falling asleep on the chairs, like with the consoles, with the PS4s and Xbox Ones or 360s, whatever the hell they had there. And yeah, it was the funniest thing, just looking back at it. You have people playing pool, people watching war movies, everyone just chilling around. It was actually pretty awesome too. And then after that, you go and eat dinner. And the dinner there was just awesome. Like, the hotel food there, it's like a 5-star hotel, something like that, and they have like one of the best foods. You can only pick out of like 5 things, but they have like a burger, a salad, spaghetti, stuff like that. I got the burger. And it's the MEPS in Chicago I went to, so yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys learned some things from this video, what not to do, what to do in MEPS. And I went there with the Marine Corps, like enlisting for the Marine Corps. So going on with the story, after dinner, you go and you get briefed. You have to be in the Freedom Room by which is the room with the PS4s and stuff, by a certain time. If you're not, you pretty much get sent home, or they go looking for you. So the briefing was funny. Like, the guy there, he looked serious and strict, but as soon as he stood up on the table and started talking, he was like the funniest guy I ever met. And during, you have like 70 people, you probably, no, like 80, 90, 100 people in one room. And he calls out names, everyone says here, and he tells you not to lock out your knees, and you're like, okay, what the hell, you think it's funny that he says that? But one kid actually ended up passing out, and the guy that was like giving the speech started laughing, and he's like, someone get that kid a banana, and they actually ended up, I'm going too in depth with this, but anyways, someone passed out. It was funny. Some people were also like scared, just, the whole MEPS experience. So yeah, they brief you on all that. And the better parts of the story are coming up. But, so, okay. This is where it got messed up and kind of made me mad. But, it's MEPS, you can't get mad, or else, you probably shouldn't be enlisting anyway. So, it's, I report after briefing, and then you're able to stay into the Freedom Room until lights out. And then we figure out that at lights out, the hotel is overflowed. They don't have any more rooms. And there's 2 people to a room, you and a roommate. So, guys with guys, girls with girls, that usual stuff. And so it's probably like 10, probably 11 right now, 10:30, like, not right now, just, in the perspective of the story. And they tell us that there's an influx of people. And they're just sitting there, and I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? And they're like, we don't know. And I'm like, okay. So it's around 10:30 now, and they say, hey, we got a new hotel, but we gotta drive you guys there. So then we have to wait for a shuttle, and this is just for me. This isn't gonna be everyone's experience unless you have an influx of people like we did. But yeah, that was an experience. So we get driven to this other hotel. It doesn't have that nice of rooms as the 5-star hotel. Still good though. I'm roomed with someone from the Army, so he's giving me some looks because I'm going into the Marines, and it was funny. We talked for a bit, and then it was probably around 11 or 12 that we actually finally got to sleep, and then in the morning you have to wake up at 3. So, or actually 4, but we had to wake up at 3 because, wake up, not work. Yeah, I think I said wake up, but we had to wake up at 3 because we had to get driven back to the hotel for breakfast, or driven back to the main hotel for breakfast. So yeah, it sucked for me, but whatever, I got through it, I swore in. So we wake up, go on the shuttle, go to breakfast. It turns out that our, I guess they call it a chaperone, I don't know, he got sent back and he didn't have his clothes, so he was pissed off. But we go back, we eat breakfast. The breakfast was awesome too. The recruiters tell you not to eat a lot of bacon or drink a lot of orange juice because it could fuck with your blood test or piss test, whatever that is. And so we do that, we eat, and then this is where it starts. We get to MEPS, and we turn to our left, and there's just these long, like, just stairs that lead up to the main room. And everyone's lined up, and they tell you over and over to have your social security card, I think, and your ID out. Something like that. I'm not sure about the social security, but they tell you to have that out. And, you know, of course, with the people I was placed with, they're idiots. We get up there, people are screaming and yelling at them because they don't have their social security out, so it pretty much just made our group look like complete ass. And that set the stage for the rest of the day. So that kind of sucked. But, you know, I was actually one of the few that had it out, so the lady was actually, you know, she's like, oh, you actually have your shit out, so, you know, do what you're told, you'll get by fast. Which I did. So, it's probably around like 8, or like 6 or 7, I don't know what time it was. It's 6 or 7, we got driven from the hotel to MEPS, which is in like Chicago, and that all happens, and then you sit there and wait for the MEPS briefing. They'll tell you what you're going to be going through, and that's just long because, yeah, it's just, you have to sit there, you have to stand there actually, you can't sit in the chairs, and they just sit there and talk for about an hour. So after that, we, you know, yeah, we wait, and then you go and meet your liaisons or service counselors. Yeah, I might as well just say service counselor, sounds better. And so Marines go to, or Marine police, or enlisted, whatever you want to call them, they go to the Marine liaison, Navy to Navy, Army to Army, you know, just basic crap like that. And we get to our liaison, and he's like the most intimidating, like, scary guy you can see. And he asks you all these questions. As most of you guys know, you don't have to, but you know, I might as well not say, you have to say that some things that aren't true to your story. You have to kind of say, you know, oh, I never broke a bone in my life, I've never been to the doctor, you know, stuff like that. I've never been arrested, which I haven't, but yeah, so no tickets, nothing. And you pretty much have to bullshit your way through, and he points at a sign, he's like, you know, if you don't, you could be fined $10,000, go to jail, and, you know, don't listen to that, that's false. But, anyways, we do that, and then the first thing he tells us is, in my building, you're gonna stand in parade rest everywhere. And that was only for Marines, or the Marine enlistment people. So we had to stand in parade rest, which is pretty much like your body is aimed straight up, like, you know, your posture's perfect, hands behind your back, legs spread out a bit, and it ends up hurting, like your back ends up getting so tense by the end of the day, and everyone else is just standing however they want, but the Marine enlistees are standing, yeah, that's what we're doing. So he says we have to do that everywhere, or we're getting sent home. So yeah, so being me, I did it everywhere. And after that, we get to another briefing room, and it's just paperwork after paperwork. And, like, they get mad. That's where you get given your, what is that thing called? The alcohol tester? The breathalyzer? Yeah, that's where they give you a breathalyzer test and all that. You have to fill out a bunch of paperwork about medical and keeping your story straight through MEPS from, as you did when you talked to your recruiter. So, we're going through that, and I'm talking to this kid, and he's like, the blood test is right after this. So this kid is like, dude, I am really afraid of needles. And I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. They're just going to take your blood. And he's like, no, I'm afraid of needles. And I'm like, okay. Well, he heard the worst thing he could have possibly heard in his life. Like, he did one thing wrong on his paperwork, and the guy tells him, the Navy guy tells him, he's like, or the staff member tells him, he's like, well, you messed up. I'm going to make sure they stick you good in there. And as soon as he said that, that kid's jaw dropped, and he was like, he was scared. Like, his eyes were wide open, and he's like, no. So, you know, being me, I really wanted to laugh, but I'm just sitting there because, you know, it's a serious setting. You don't want to laugh or fuck around there. That's the last place you want to fuck around at. So, yeah, so that, and then it gets to the blood test. Me, I'm fine. I've given blood. I give blood to I don't know if you call it a charity, a blood donation center, and I do that frequently. So it wasn't much for me. They took my blood. You tense up, your blood all squirts into this like little vial thing for testing, and then you go and sit down and wait for your urine analysis, which is and this is all done in medical, by the way, obviously, but I just thought I'd say that out there. And so you're sitting there waiting, and the kid, like the stalls for the blood test, like you get put in a little stall so that other people can't see you. And this kid's just freaking screaming, like he does not want that needle in him. The doctor actually had to, or the corpsman actually had to hold him down for him to give his blood. It was pretty funny. But so other than that, you know, I gave my blood. I'm sitting down at the urine analysis center. 11 people go in at a time, and it's kind of awkward, like, you know, especially me. I kind of like, I don't know, for some reason my body doesn't want to give off urine when I'm around people. Or at least, like, you know, I don't know, it's just kind of awkward. So I ended up going pee, don't have to worry about that. But I was talking to this one kid, and he's like, dude, I can't pee. Like, it was this one black kid, like, there was, I mean, there was a lot of us there. There was, you know, Mexicans, whites. I'm Mexican, so there was, you know, a big variety of people there. But he's just sitting there, like, he was one of those funny black guys, yeah. So he's just like, bro, I can't piss. And I look at him and I smile and I start laughing a bit, and he starts laughing, and we had a really funny group. So anyway, we're laughing, having a good time, and then they call our name, and the guy that gives the piss test, he's really funny. He's just like, okay guys, let's go. We go in there, and then we're standing by the urinals, and he's like, okay, all I want you guys to do is breathe. And then you know, just hearing that kind of set me off, just made me laugh a bit. And so, you know, I do my piss test, and I give him the bottle, or the, not the bottle, the cup thing that has the test in it. They send it off to the lab or whatnot. And, and the black kid's still in there. Like, he's still in there. 2 groups later, he's still in there, and finally the guy tells him, you have to go drink water, piss, or get out of this building. So yeah, with that being said, they can send you home for anything. Like, they could send you home for dirty ears. Like, your recruiters will tell you, I don't know, well, they should at least, to clean your ears out with peroxide, because as crazy as it sounds, they'll send you home for that. But anyways, so he still can't piss, and they gave him a jug of water. Like, they have a specific jug that they give people if they can't piss, and he's just chugging it. And finally, okay, actually no, I'll wait for the next part of the story or whatever to say that, because I don't see him until this last part, so I end up knowing that he actually pissed. And that was like a main talking point of all the Marine enlistees, by saying like, dude, that kid couldn't piss, he's gonna get sent home. People were laughing. So after all that, you go to medical, and that's where you get your, so there's 3 stages to medical. There's actually no, there's 2 stages. There's your physical, which you go in, the doctor tells you to drop your pants, checks your balls or whatever, you know, male, female, whatever you are. And then he you know, he says spread them cheeks, he checks for hemorrhoids. And then after that, he like, yeah, you get sent into this room with a bunch of people in boxers, and everyone just is ordered to take off their clothes. You have to strip down to the boxers, underwear, whatever. So, and everyone's cracking jokes because it's just funny. Like, you have to make light of it. Everyone's just sitting in there with their boxers. Everyone's cracking jokes. It's one of the funniest things you could do. And, you know, I'm just saying this because, you know, I did pass, like, the medical, all that. I'm in the room with the boxer people. And so we're all sitting there making jokes. And then all of a sudden the 2 doctors come in. And that's where you do things to make sure your limbs function as properly. So they tell you, you know, do all these workouts, like flexing your elbows. They tell you to, like, squat down and walk. Like, you're pretty much doing ridiculous workouts. But it's funny because one kid comes in, like, fully clothed, and we're all in boxers. And then the one kid looks at him and he's like, strip down, boy. So, and then this is where I actually see the black kid that, you know, he couldn't pee. I end up seeing him again, so it was kind of good to see that he actually made it through. And, yeah, so other than that, all we did was the sound test and the eye test, and I'm making it sound fast, but no, there's a lot of waiting. You have to wait your turn on everything. They tell you, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. You run to the station, and then you just wait for like 30 minutes. And I actually was one of the last people to swear in, or my group was, because we were just, it took too long. And there was only like 2 liaisons working or something, when there should have been 4 or something like that. I don't know. But you get your fingerprints taken. You get medical done. You know, they check your eyes, everything. Sound test, eye test, and the sound test is really like, you know, messed up because you'll be sitting in the soundproof room, so you know your brain starts to make sounds as soon as like the sound plays, so your brain plays tricks on you. But so yeah, other than that, there's not really anything else that happened. I guess the funniest part of it all was hearing the kid scream like he's being stabbed and killed in the stall where he's getting his blood taken. And then the kid that couldn't piss was just a talking point. People were cracking jokes about it. In the room with the boxers, just everyone in boxers just stripped down. It's just funny as hell just listen to everyone. Except it is kind of sad. That's the only time that a lot of people get like sent home because of weight. I didn't. I was well under my weight limit. So other than that, you just go back to your liaison. He has you sign the contract. There's fingerprints. You pretty much fingerprint sign everything. So like they have you. That's pretty much how you verify your contract. So you do that. Fingerprint yourself. So yeah, it's a long process, but that's pretty much all I have to say. If you guys have any questions down in the comments about something I didn't mention, just put it down there. I'll respond to it. And yes, I will respond to all of them. But pretty much just final words that I have to say to you guys is if you're going to MEPS, I hope you learned something from this video. Just do what you're told. Be respectful. Make sure you listen. Yeah, that's a big one. Listen. Like if they say have a card out before you get here, take it out and just, you know, have your card out before you get there so you could quickly show it to them, make their life easier, make your life your life's easier, and just get through that shit. And then, of course, I forgot to mention, you swear in, you raise your right hand, you say, I solemnly swear, you know, all that stuff, just about like protecting your country, which is a big thing. And then you get your picture taken in front of the flag, which is one of like the best moments. You know you made it through, and now all you have to do is show up to PT like every day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.